I have to give credit to Tempest. They lost every. They went for an Albatross draft. We're going to Sky Temple. They had an Albatross draft. They lost every shrine, literally every single one. Still were able to bring us to level 24, supreme late game, surviving, keeping their keeps alive for a really, really long time. And I mean, I thought it was impressive play. They made the Albatross pick at least survive long. They had a lot of really cool team fights with the Horrifies. The coordination was good there. We're going to Sky Temple. This is going to be Ballistix map pick. Tempest will have first pick for the first time in this series as we head into this one. So, jumping straight into this one, they've been favoring the Hanzo pick. It was banned on shrines. Kasla. Genji will be banned. Does Ballistix leave the Hanzo open? I want to say no. So powerful for boss control on this map. They do ban the Garrosh instead.
Signs Garrosh being targeted. Did happen once in game 1 also. So it's just going to continue.
So weird, given that Sign, the only game of Garrosh played tonight, he lost his last game. And it's never been a hyper pick, so they banned this over the Hanzo. I think Tempest should be very happy with this. The one thing I really don't want to see is if Tempest falls in the trap of thinking that the reason why that last game went so poorly for them was the Maiev. And if they picked a Maiev here, I think it's a bad map for Maiev. It does not offer a lot of big plays for Maiev. There's so much area to work with. All the objectives can easily avoid Maiev setups. With the exception of the boss, I guess it's the only place where you really have to stay grouped in one specific area. They do take the Hanzo, which has been working so well for them tonight.
There is a choke point. The second temple phase, the bottom one. That's the best placement for Maiev to actually dive in, get all the vine, and once you are in, you get trapped at least a few. Then it's really easy to land on a combo. It's really hard to escape from that zone also. So that's why Maiev was coming out a few times. Actually, a lot of the Korean teams choosing not to fight that second temple phase against that Maiev.
Well, Ballistix, when given this opportunity in the past, they've really heavily favored the Maiev, the Malfurion as well. Could take Maiev Stukov. That's another great way to really control how you want to utilize the Maiev draft. Will be Sonya actually taken this time. It's actually the first time they leave Jungha's Sonya available. We were talking about that earlier, his insane win rate. Like 18-2 since HGC Korea began, so...
Since 2017, so
yeah.
That's a lot of Sonyas, and through multiple patches, even before the rework.
Tempest, hanging a little bit lost now. They had the Hanzo pick on lock, but the Sonya pick is very frustrating to deal with. They're not running a lot of Malthael right now, so maybe they take the Falstad approach, or the Dahaka approach. Maybe that's the way to out-rotate Ballistix on this map. They did not want to go up 0-2 and get reverse swept right now, and they took the Genji ban because it was so potent in the games we've seen from Ballistix tonight. And they left the Sonya open. How do they respond? Wow, Hanzo Maiev, this is a very rare one.
Dragon Strike was buffed in this patch, by the way, slightly.
Yeah. No more tick damage. Stukov ban instantly. Greymane ban coming through. They're locking in the DPS with this. Ballistix can still put SDE in, but they don't have a single DPS locked in yet, so it might be time to see Ballistix Leeming. One way to set this up. Leeming and Tychus was always the safe DPS picks for Ballistix. They ran so much in 2017, a little bit here in 2018 in similar situations with DPSs locked out. Alternatively, there aren't that many alternatives really in terms of DPS right now that's meta. I mean, it's been the Genji, Maiev, Medivh.
They can try to run
Greymane.
Phoenix into this.
That's certainly possible.
It's not too bad, I think.
SD's Phoenix was amazing on this map last time we saw it. They will take the Junkrat here. Into the Maiev. It can still work very defensively against the Warden's Cage.
Still holding on to that 5th last DPS pick. Johanna to self-cleanse against the Umbral Bind. So you don't really need... And you do have the Nature's Cure from Malfurion anyhow.
Yeah, and you have great blinds against the Hanzo.
And Concussive Mine actually has been somewhat of a counter when they want to dive in. You blow them out of the zone instantly when they come in. And ETC frontline can actually get burst damage down, just like we saw from Gondar in match number 1.
I really want to see a commitment to a different type of solo laner here for Tempest, whether it's... I don't want to just see the Blaze pick. I want to see a Dahaka for map control. I want to see a Malthael for control of the top lane itself. That's what I want to see here. I don't know if I'm going to get lucky. It will take the Malthael. Okay, so now they at least have some real direct pressure on the top lane. This can be, and this will likely be, not Last Rites, but Tormented Souls with Uther coming through, so they have so much boss control with the Hanzo for the rush. Holy cow, you know, potential there with Mosh Pit, Malthael. This is such a great lineup here for Tempest to control this map. And I know that the Sonya has been terrifying historically for Jungha, but I'm not convinced that Ballistix can make a 5th pick here that makes me feel like they win this draft. With so few heroes available, Greymane, Genji banned, they might just have to go back to that SDE Tychus, but it doesn't really work well with their draft.
Against the Uther, you do have the sustain from Malfurion. Is it really the time to bring out that Medivh? I think it actually does fit really well.
Medivh is great here. I think it's going to be a
Sonya?
lack of damage, but they can protect the Sonya. Vala.
It is Ballistix, back to L5. Bring out that Vala.
Vala has I think the lowest win rate of all assassins in Korea. I want to actually confirm this right now.
Really?
No.
Reyna, right?
Lunara and Illidan are 0 and 2 and 0 and 4 respectively. But in terms of heroes with a lot of play, Vala is with 14 games, 4 and 10, 28.57% win rate in 2018. Very, very low win rate, very low success rate, 28% win rate. Very Uncom was picked a lot at the beginning of the year when people were still trying to run double support, when people were really trying to sort out the new meta. But no longer the case, no longer a strong hero, but they're going to try to make this work. Let's see if Ballistix can bring us to a Game 5 with this unusual Vala pick.
Looking at the sheet here. Oh man, Vala is the lowest.
Yeah, I mean, besides the heroes that like don't have
like more than 10 games,
played.
yes.
Massively the lowest. SC on the Vala again, going back to his roots. Fantastic win rate for both teams on this map. Surprised it took us to Game 4 to see it.
Win rate about the same?
Yeah. 1 loss apiece. Ballistix going to 4-man this bot lane right now, avoiding the Shrine fight, where the ETC is going to have total control to try to get some damage on it and try to damage this wall so later they can get the healing fountain easier. Doesn't really work out for them. They lose control of the tower, the watchtower, and now, you know, they have a lost matchup on the top lane and they did not get any damage onto the wall. They're going to actually even maybe lose somebody here. Hooligan gets out, but
now
takes a lot of
will be
damage.
safe, but they have to rotate further, having a slower rotation now.
Hooligan has to tap the well. Big wins all around for Tempest here.
Just the basics and the best plays of your tanking the team, of course. Where is this Vala going? Looking for a kill onto Martel?
Oh yeah, they're trying to get the kill onto Good. He uses the E to get the W at max range. Oh, turns around with the auto attack. That was almost BM. I cannot believe he auto attacked there. Gets away, but this is a failed rotation. This allows Tempest to grab not only a ton of experience, but even this Siege Giant camp, as Malthael's just going to head straight back up. You got to do things like this in a lost matchup, though, sometimes, to make sure that Jungha does not get totally dominated. But this is why I like the Malthael pick so much. You're so terrified of Sonya, you're so terrified of her win rate. Why not just pick a bad matchup for him, so at least you can put your mind at rest in terms of what's going to happen in that top lane.
And because of that bad matchup, Bala was coming to release the lane pressure a little bit. If getting a kill was going to be a ton of time for Sonya to actually push in or go for the camp timing earlier than Tempest is. But they have failed to do so. Good. Surviving through that was one of the best play right now.
Look at this situation that we have in the bot lane now. They threaten an invade. There's a Noblesse invade here with Sign. Ballistix doesn't take the bait. But how much damage did Tempest get done? They got a whole wall. Ballistix failed to that in the early game, failed that top rotation. Going to fail this one as well. Better timing on this camp for Tempest too. They have such a great control over the map right now. I'm sure there's 4 top here, but they're losing so much experience for it in the mid lane.
Unless they get to push in a lot, they will have to make this into trade. Johanna buying some time, laying the rotation of ETC, coming to the top. Not really much of a push, only a tower down.
Yeah. So, in every way, the map structure damage, the soak has been better for Tempest. It's not a massive advantage they have, but they have vision control. They have... They're the ones who are leading the charge. They're the ones pulling the strings in this game. Ballistix is having to follow every rotation, not setting it. Shrine started faster for Tempest as well. They're going to even try to delay this so they can get double Shrine potential, maybe like 1.2 of a Shrine. Temple, I should say, but you know what I mean.
Everyone knows. Well,
everyone.
You're the best. You're the best.
Oh man, Jungha is caught, and he's going to be first blood. Oh, AB.
Whirlwind!
Whirlwind! This is why they ban out the Sonya. Jungha is so good at this hero.
Good dives in, but he does go down.
It's going to be a trade, I think, though. Can Good get out of here? He has no mana. He's dead. Jungha's fantastic on the Sonya. Oh my god. They get the temple completed first, so they actually are going to get maybe a 1.3 temple. Yep, we're going to try to get the last shots on this lockdown, committing into this fight. On the Maiev, an unusual hero pick for him. Hanzo's soaking mid and bottom. So this is not the end of the world for Tempest by any means, but Jungha the god. At this.
Survived long enough for them to actually take the control of the top temple back. They will actually get a lot more shots. Even the finishing 5 shots. They did lose some experience bottom because Hanzo was there the entire time. But I would directly damage the structure a little bit more. I would like that to happen. Ballistix, I think they were in favor after the kill. Power Slide connects, but no real threat onto STE.
Yeah. Could have furthered the advantage more, but still ahead now in this game, technically. Uh-oh, lockdown. I don't think he has his E, but looks like he's able to get away regardless. Boss spawns here at 5 minutes. Despite the fact that we've got a Hanzo squad here, with Ballistix controlling the map right now. Not going to be able to look for a pre-10 boss. Can't sneak it, can't force that. Neither team having 10 first means that we're not going to see a boss for a while. Probably not until the first real team fight. We've only had that one kill in the top lane, that one skirmish. The EXP could not be more even right now. Tempest is trying to rotate mid. They're faking this invade again, but not actually committing as Good continues to push this top lane. Just barely unable to get the healing fountain. Just rotating back and forth with this ETC pick, trying to threaten Ballistix with these rotations. Ballistix is again just being pulled around by the macro of Tempest right now.
There are lots of crowd control available by Ballistix, and also Twilight Dream very likely. So do you lock in that mosh pit again? Or do you go for that
stage dive
that you have tried before in the previous series?
I think because you have Uther, I think you still go for the mosh pit, but I think there's definitely arguments for the stage dive too. Last time we saw the stage dive with Sonya's Leap, it was with obviously leap, so it was a CC chain, and they were losing the macro, and they used it to come back.
Tranquility.
Yep.
And Johanna holding falling sword.
I doubt
against the stage dive? No. Not even a chance.
Okay, this is going to be the temple controlled by Tempest. Ballistix is just unable to gain any ground here. They did send Sonya to take that top camp. Headed mid now as well to soak, but now coming down. So Ballistix trying to use that top camp to take back control of the map, but they're losing so much structure damage now on this temple that they're letting go for free. And they're 4-man committing to this. They're not getting that much of a lead in experience. Actually now committing the 5-man as Sonya comes down. Junga looking to turn this fight. He steps onto the shrine for the first time. Looking so low. Pleasant Shield is locked in.
Misses the root. Could have been a lot more focus fire onto Sign, but will escape. Still did not lock in that 10.
100% of the temple goes to Tempest.
At the same time, the camp has been pushing. I think it's a little less damage compared to all the temples, but still over time, it's still pushing in, forces a rotation from Marthael.
Yeah.
And depending on how Ballistix wants to use his time.
Like you said, they are going to be able to take this down in the long term. And now that they rotate up, they want to make sure they can guarantee this, and they're going to look for an invade. I actually like how Ballistix is playing this moment really well. But Tempest matches the rotation. They clear the camp. They maintain their experience lead. Structure's even. Look at that concussive mine. It's a tease. Not going to be utilized.
Try to get a kill onto Lockdown. Will just escape. A hard one to do onto Maiev. Just 2 easy escapes. Oh, you gotta lock that in when you hit 13, though. Sign's still holding.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the map. If you want to control the macro, you can do so. We've seen it before.
I mean, he's just waiting for the team fight opportunity, and that's why he holds it. And I think he will lock in Mosh Pit in just a second. I don't think that they need any additional map control, as they've been controlling this entire game.
Yeah, they are already in hold of their macro.
Yeah, so I don't think that's required. I don't think that's necessary. They have the Divine Shield to force the Mosh Pits in. It's so powerful for boss control, which is really one of the big tools they have with this composition. Okay, looking to just shove down this fort with that 13 talent tier advantage. And the mystery ETC heroic. Still holding on to this. Shrine's active. SD forced to deal with this bot push at the same time. They're going to take control of this mid shrine easily. The bottom temple, Ballistix is not going. They want to commit to the mid one. They want to actually force a fight now that they've got 13.
Mosh Pit locked in. It is Mosh Pit. Sign taking some damage, but here goes Sonya.
Riptire.
Alone with the Riptire.
Long range
Riptire.
it though. Divine Shield up early here. And the Riptire still going strong, does not do any damage. Junkrat's way away from the fight because he used that so long ago, but they do take control of this shrine. But Tempest already got half of it, and they're just going to rotate down to the bottom shrine.
But Tempest also did not use anything significant other than the D-Shield. They still have lots of combos to actually get wipes up, and the Riptire is down.
Yeah, and if they can get all of this while controlling the entrance to this bottom temple, they did more damage. They got more out of this shrine phase. Ballistix is going to have to make this fight happen without that Riptire. Oh, look at Sign's positioning. Just trying to go for the power slide in the back. Already Iron Skin's been used, so no escape this time for Hooligan if he does overextend like that. As you say, the cage is totally wasted as well.
Good chase. Sonya pops up again. Focusing on the Sign. He's been taking damage with the crowd control.
Yep, he does survive though. The problem is the lack of sustained healing gear from the Uther. Everyone's so low, and Uther can't do anything about that. That's his weakness, and it looks like Ballistix will grab the second half of this temple phase, so we ended up getting a pretty even temple. 2 deaths only in this game at 11 minutes in.
For a second, I was thinking maybe Ballistix will just go for their own camp. Are they going for boss? No, okay. We'll go for their own camp, and then just let the bottom one go, because they they were falling behind in macro, and they have to actually use the time to start their own camp. Now, when Tempest can also do the same with the bottom one, so they have not really taken back the macro to themselves by taking few shots. Was that really worth it? We'll have to see a little bit more, as they did get the last fourth standing because of those few shots. EXP about the same, so there were a few choices they could have done. I think slightly leaning towards the camp.
Oh, look at this, committing on to Johanna. Iron Skin should be available, he's not using it yet. He's trying to force it out early in this fight as they do go for the invade on this camp. Fail to get it. Oh, but they got the Rip Tire. Feels like a pretty big win to me. Just gonna use it to clear the minion wave. Got something out of it at least. Unfortunately for Tempest, this is not a big enough win to try to boss, so they will just clear this camp. Malthel is split pushing top, so they catch up in experience. What a close game this has really come to be. Ballistix has control over the map though. Junkrat takes control of the top.
Vault is down.
Yeah.
Sign comes from the side. Cage is popped in. Not really locking down anyone. There's a mosh pit. Only locking down Vala.
Oh, gets the double before the sun goes up. He does not get the condemn. So offers an opportunity for Good to rotate down, and that he does. Big stuns coming through here from the Maiev with the Umbral Bind. But Ballistix is caught. They are trapped. It's a 5v4 fight, and they are losing it. Another slide comes through, but they do get the kill onto Good. Jungha carrying this fight again, but for how long? Do see the face melt lock him out. Trying to heal up, does get taken down in the end. Hooligan's blocked out. Cyan gets another stun here. He's pinging, he wants the kills, and they're gonna get him. They're gonna get the big scatter arrow kill onto Magi, and now they're gonna grab the first boss of the game at 1330.
Send D-Shield onto Cyan, right at point. But he couldn't be stopped on that mosh pit. Joanne actually walked into the mosh.
Yeah.
How sadly that was. And Vala, of course, dancing the entire time, was blown up right after his back already. Because we were only 13 minutes in. It seemed like it has been forever on this map.
Yeah, just because of the passivity from these two teams, it just feels like we, you know, as you say, it feels like that was a late game fight with like huge death timers because of how they're playing. They're playing like if they lost the fight, they lost the game, they lost the series, which is not true. Tempest is going to go for a short-term double temple while this boss works on the bottom keep wall. Not doing too much damage to the boss, but the temples sure are. Working on the bottom keep wall, it's completely down now. And then the top is getting worked on. Hooligan getting collapsed on again. Not quite a Throwligan moment here. In fact, they're going to turn this.
Though by the concussive mind. D-Shield on himself.
I don't know if he can get out here.
Right after. Connecting the damage.
He has the armor, but the cage comes through. He just barely walks out. Hyde survives, and they're going to turn this fight. Last Rites comes through. They get the kill. It's a trade, though. Hyde's still alive, but does not have the ability to get in range for the heals. Cool opportunity there for them to really turn this fight around. It did not happen. Ends up being a better trade for Ballistix, but Cyan's going to backdoor this keep. Down it goes.
A good trade, I would say. They lose the temple, and the top keep is damaged.
Yeah, only slightly. Well, they're going to grab this this camp. I don't think they can double camp. All they have to do now is come defend this top keep, and then they're going to have macro control for the rest of the foreseeable future. 20 is just around the horizon as well. With this wave coming through, it's going to be most of the experience they need for that 20. All they have to do is clear this huge free wave. Even Hyde using his Radiance here. He's like, we got to get rid of this, get that experience, get that 20.
That was a good bait by Hyde, almost. Of course, he got caught, but because he survived for such a long time. Members of Ballistix were overextending at that moment. Tempest is able to catch that. Great job there. We'll be hitting that level 20 mark a lot quicker than Ballistix will do. So next temple phase will be happening in a while. Cyan already placing himself here. They're 20, they can go in. They want to finish this game right now.
Got 20 that want to look for this fight. Redemption locked in for Uther, so Hyde has the ability to have 2 lives. You know,
Vala's not even here, so they can't really contest.
Vala's not here. They're just going to take this by force. They're going to annex this camp. And it belongs to me. Ballistix does not contest. Now they have spell armor with this night camp as they push through top. great changes with the Here's the Storm gameplay changes for 2018 is that spell armor gives you so much potential to try to end games. Getting focused down is the Nightcap. Sign eating some damage here. Sonya gonna pop her heroic here as Jonga tries to come forward. They do push the team of Tempest back. Tempest unable to use this 20 advantage to end the game or to get a second keep. Bolt locked in here for ETC. He's not gonna hold it.
I don't know what Dochet is trying to say.
He's like, the wall's still up. I guess they're talking about the value of what this mid-temple would do because it would go directly to the wall, not the keep itself. And Ballistix can't contest it. They can't afford to, not without 20. They will have 20 soon. They're going to have to take this time soaking the 20 while also dealing with the catapult's bottom. But the mid keep is going to take some direct damage here during this time. Wall's already pretty much done, so it's going to be going directly to the keep in just a second.
Long game. Finally, Ballistix hits 20. They have their moment. Fala so far not too effective in any of the team fights. But when she's got the extra range, she will be. Look at the positioning of a lockdown coming in with the bind.
Okay, big prison here as well coming out from Maiev. Divine Shield so late here. It's used on ETC. And he's very low. Good is going to try to use this tricky escape to get out, but it's not going to happen. Could Ballistix bring us back to a 5th game? Malthael instantly respawns. That's one thing they got going for them. Well, this is a great position now for Ballistix to get the last shots on the core. Or sorry, onto the keep. Wall.
Trying to delay. Lockdown comes in, trying to focus on the ball. Lavala is safe.
Jonga doing so much damage here. Healing himself with a whirlwind. Hyde still alive here, barely gets out. Good did respawn. He's low on health as well. They survive. Tempest still has a keep advantage. Ballistix really using that composition well, though, using the...
now we understand why they banned Sonya.
Yeah.
That was a team fight without the Junkrat. And
Indeed.
Junkrat was wiped.
Yeah.
And then they started focusing on the Good.
Okay, Good.
Blinded.
Good gets healed.
Focusing on the Hooligan 4 now, who Johanna...
He's got the indestructible, but it's not going to last forever. Look at that positioning here from Sign. Gets the stun, and there's the Last Rites follow-up.
Maybe the Sobo Catapult already on the core. Good just as a sustain. They just have to buy time right here.
Hyde is going to go down. Jonga doing what he can, as you say, to push this through, but core under attack. Dragon's Arrow coming through here as well. Gets the kill onto Jonga and then throws the Dragon Arrow out. Pushes on the top and mid, now cleared up by the keeps. But the core does not go down. Ballistix heads over here to grab this cap. This is such a weird game. It's hard to tell what's up and down with how aggressively Tempest is now just trying to fight every fight.
They're having 2 fights. Jonga's having his own fight on the side as Sonya. And then Vala is always trying to keep everyone away onto the other side. So it's really hard to keep up everything right now.
This boss goes directly to the core. When Uther respawns, he will soon have his redemption. By the time he gets to the core, he will have that. So Ballistix is going to have a really hard time defending. Tempest is just going to look for the safest play possible, though. They're going to go double temple.
All keeps down.
Yep. So
when
double
Tempest does not even have any keep down, that's going to be a real threat. Let's see with the Q Vala, of course, trying to do the damage, but 3 keeps down for Ballistix. How can you catch up in the macro?
Double temple will get all the keeps, like you say, and it will also end the game if Ballistix does not contest. So as soon as that boss is cleared, they're going to have to run in and go for the fight. In fact, they're not even going to wait for that. They're going in now. Riptire early. Sign bolts. He gets away, but the Blessed Shield connects. Riptire is destroyed. Not a good sign here for Ballistix. Good. Just trying to do what he can to finish this game right now. Divine Shield onto Good here. Sorry, onto Lockdown.
Vala maybe a little bit too late going towards that Martel. Going for that 1v1.
They're going for the core. They want to end this game. Moshpit's going to delay. Moshpit delays as Lockdown runs through. Good is going to lose this 1v1. Last Rites is going to trade it, though. But it's just too much damage. Hyde's in here. He has his redemption. They're going to end this game. They're going to kill the core. Jonga's headed back, but Tempest is going to win Korean playoffs here for HGC's Phase 1 of 2018. Ecstatic They're able to win that 5th game to guarantee their spot in Sweden. Now they've earned the 2nd seed going to the mid-season brawl, and Tempest looks back to form finally after a few weeks of hiatus, a few weeks of rough series at the end of regular season. It was a crazy one. It was a wonky one. It was not the highest level of play we've ever seen in Korea, and it was not, I think, the drafts that we're going to be seeing at mid-season brawl, but I have an exciting teaser and appetizer for what we may see at the later stages of mid-season brawl when Korea fights against Korea.
That is correct. They have secured themselves going to that mid-season brawl tonight against Blossom. And 4 more games. They have played 9 games in a row. And being able to have that win against Ballistix. I don't think Ballistix showed even close to 80% of what they can actually do tonight. As we already mentioned, if you're doing the studies on these teams, I don't think neither team even showed 80%. Maybe Tempest closer to 80%, but Ballistix certainly not.
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, I don't even think Tempest showed that much either. They just played similar strategies to what they've been showing in the past. They ran the Alexstrasza even. It was a little bit weird on both sides. But this is not going to be something that the European teams are going, sick. I'm glad that we skipped our final series and they didn't. We get the extra info. That's definitely not what they're feeling right now, because they know this is mostly just a finishing seeding match that doesn't really mean as much going into the mid-season brawl. So tough to say who really ends out with the MVP. It was a crazy series. I want to say Lockdown's Li Ming was the most impressive to me from Tempest. I'd love to hear from him as Tempest preserves their spot. They don't come in as 3rd. They come in as 2nd. It's been a while since that's happened.
Yep, they have finally broke that top 2. They were always behind Ballistix and KSV Black. Finally going with that 2nd seed, should be feeling pretty proud after tonight. Long games, long games, 9 games played. Yeah,
and they want to come and prove themselves to be very solid. They want to be the team that shows up, that is 2nd place worthy or maybe even championship worthy, because they were 1st seed for Eastern. Did not go well for them there. They ended up getting 3rd place overall, 3rd, 4th in the Eastern Clash. So let's see what they can bring to the table as they go to Sweden. I'm going to go on the record and predict that we're going to have 3 Korean teams in the top 8. And I think very likely, depending on how the bracket goes, a Korea versus Korea final for this. I think the Korean teams are back in form.
Possibly.
Let's see. I'm
hoping for at least 2 Korean teams in the top 4. Very likely to happen. Here's the result of the 2nd series we had, best of 5. It was for the seeding for MSB. And Tempest will actually defeat Ballistix. I think Ballistix tonight, they were trying to hide way too much. Losing their seed may be painful, you never know. Yeah. Once you go to that mid-season brawl, of course, long time from now on.
Yeah, it's a long way away. We don't know what patch it's going to be played on yet. You brought up the possibility of Deckard Cain. I think it's, there's a high chance that he's available. And I can guarantee you Hyde's going to be putting his hands on that real quick, because he loves to get into the new supports. A tragedy for Blossom. They were unable to make it. They were so close. They're 1 game away from breaking the trend of the top 3 Korean teams. They got 4th to go to Eastern, so at least they got that international experience. But this was the big international event they wanted. They were so close. They didn't get it. But Tempest, they really stepped it up tonight. They really impressed.
Yeah, they kept their strategy together, and they were able to win with that strategy. So I've got to say they came prepared against that Medivh from Blossom, and they were not as dominant as a lot would think, but we were actually saying Blossom was the favorite coming into the series because Tempest has been hiding so much and not really well coordinated last weekend, and then previously, of course, ever since Good showed up late when they lost their 1st place spot. They were kind of coming downhill from that moment, but they were able to show up today with pretty good shape. They won against Blossom and against Ballistix. I have to give them a compliment, and for my MVP, but I would actually choose Hyde. He has his Twilight Dream awesome.
Oh, man, that
able
was so
to survive few of the times. Of course, with the help of the teammate, but he was also baiting at the same time.
Oh, yeah, Uther is such a great bait hero, because even if you do kill him, which is so difficult to do when he's healing himself and getting that armor, even if you do kill him, he has the ability to heal while dead, so it can often lead to positive traits, actually. Yeah, I think you can make a great argument for Hyde being the MVP tonight. I think Hyde's Uther and Lockdown's Li Ming, those are